Hello everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Hermitcraft. And look at the view. This is what we started work on building in the last episode, and as of recording right now, that video hasn't gone out, so I'm so eager to see all of your feedback and thoughts. And this, by the way, is far from finished. Now what I've been doing is just clearing out a little bit of jungle in front of it. I kind of wanted to get that feeling of moving through the jungle leading up to it, and all I can say is takes a lot of time to chop down trees, and it's going to take a lot of time to build paths and finalize all of this stuff right here, but it is so going to be worth it because our base this season is going to be crazy. And this is just, you know, one part of it for the honey farm. But anyway, we're not actually going to be working on this today, or maybe we'll have time to. First of all, I want to quickly announce there's another live stream weekend. We are rolling them out one after the other. We've done two already. This is the third, so be sure to make a note of that, and hopefully I'll see you over there. So we've got a bit of a chess monster situation happening over here. I have been collecting resources. By the way, I've still got loads of white concrete left over, and now we've got loads of sand and gravel, as well as all these materials over here for building in the future. But right now I'm going to pack up because we need to go in search of wood. I want to create a shop, and there are two types of wood that I need for this: dark oak and spruce, and I actually haven't gone around and collected those saplings. It's usually something I do in like the first or second day, make sure I've got all of the different wood type saplings, so we might as well get a cha-cha wood as well. So yes, we're going to go on a little bit of a exploration adventure first of all. Who do I see over there in the distance? It's Callouses! We're here to make a trade, as well as maybe chop down a tree and collect a sapling. Look at this guy! Oh, he's hooking me up with the unbreaking books. What a gentleman. This guy didn't even ask for anything. He ran away as soon as he threw the books at me. I tell you what, you know, unbreaking free diamonds, that's a fair trade, isn't it? Oh, look at those eyes. Look at those eyes. This, by the way, is for my wings. I would like to fly to these biomes, as that would make my life a lot easier. And what I really need is unbreaking on the wings, and now we have that, which is superb. Woo, look at that. Glorious bamboo forest. That is ginormous, and this is what I'm looking for right here. Spruce trees. Need to grab some of those saplings. There are a lot of panda bears right here. There is a lot of panda bears. What the heck? There's loads of them. That's crazy. What on earth is going on here? Why are there so many? That's adorable. I would not expect to see so many in one place. Huh. So I've gotten what I need from here. I also just want to say 1.15 is one of my favourite updates. You want to know why? Because now you can just take off super duper easy. I love all of the bug fixes and stabilization that they did this season. And now I know where we are. This is Scar's base, the snail. Oh, it's so glorious. Oh, I'm going to have a little look around here first, I think. So I've made flight across the giant ocean with the mushroom island in the middle to the other side of the entire area. Look at that, my wings hardly taking any durability damage. It makes such a huge difference to have unbreaking. Well, I think I've gotten enough saplings from this place, so we'll be heading back in a second. I was just thinking about episode numbers and special episodes. I'm known for doing special episodes whenever we hit a landmark, like a 100th episode, or episode 666, for example, was a very special episode. Probably the episode that I put the most time and effort into a single video ever. So yeah, we're on number 888, and it's a little too early in the season for me to be doing a special, so it's just a regular episode. And we're now over here in the shopping district. There is a new game called Bone Zone over here, although it's a two-player game, so hopefully I'll be able to meet up with someone later and play that. Otherwise, I'm just in the area chopping down spruce trees at the moment because, you probably guessed it, we're going to be setting up a honey shop in this area. And so I thought I would settle on top of a hill so the shop could be seen from far and wide. But as I was exploring, I noticed there was this ditch in the ground leading up the hill, and I felt like that would be a great location to actually put this shop, as it would fit snugly in there and it would still be elevated as well. So then I decided to make a platform with the dirt blocks, and in the middle is the andesite, which is like the footprint of where the shop itself is going to go. If it looks small, trust me, it won't be a small shop. This is going to be something you'll see from a distance. So the block palette comprises of spruce and dark oak, which will be no surprise. That's why we went out there to collect the saplings. We, my friends, are creating a honey pot, and we're doing it with stripped wood. The texture here is absolutely gorgeous. This is a really nice block to build with. Now this is an actual honey pot. It's not just a facade, which is why of course we have to build the sides and the back of this building as well. And we're leaving the top open to put a roof up there. And by the way, all of the stripping of the wood, I was using wooden axes just to save myself from using my diamond axe. It costs durability, but there's no speed difference between the diamond and the wood. So here I am building the roof, which might look crooked, and that's actually on purpose. What we're trying to do here is make it look like the honey pot has been opened ajar, so you can see the honey inside, and some of it will be oozing out as well. So with the roof done, obviously the next step was to start putting the honey on the inside, and this is where things really come together. Let's now transition and have a look from the outside here. You can see that that is pretty spectacular, right? And so what I did was I started to put some glass around the honey, some orange and yellow to give it some sort of texture variation, which I think turned out pretty good. Then we have the oozing of the honey. On a couple of sides I just made some little bits where the honey actually drips out down the side and has a little pool of honey in the ground at the bottom as well. And these details, they really bring the build to life, I think. Now I want to make the surrounding environment quite luscious and green as well. I think that's going to complement the honey pot we're building. So I went about setting out some stone bricks with dirt and grass on the other side, removing the mycelium that was there. The stone bricks is so it creates a border and the mycelium can't spread over onto where we want our grass. And then with all of that grown, of course, the finishing touch is some bushes, some leaves. Just decided to throw some of these around the outside, give it more of that organic feel, and I tell you what, ended up looking amazing, this build. And there it is, a beautiful honey pot sitting up on the mountain. So much more to be done here though, terraforming the landscape around it, creating a path to get there. Those are things we'll come back to later. I know you've already seen it on the thumbnail, the build. That's why I thought we'd just breeze through building that in a time lapse real quick. And then later on we're going to come back here and work on some of those things, including the interiors of the shop. I got some interesting design ideas floating around in my head. Also, off in the distance, another shop has popped up. This is Callouses' bookshop. Of course, we traded a couple of Unbreaking books with him earlier. We should take to the skies, though, and just have a look at this thing from a few different angles. The green really complements it. We've definitely got to work that into the environment here. But anyway, I'm heading off back to the jungle now. So I've come over here to swap the purpose of this for now. We've produced a fair amount of honey, and I put in some dispensers, and it looks like a couple of these have activated. Now I can't remember in the final version of 1.15 if this was set up so you could actually have a hopper directly underneath the bee's nest when you shear it, as opposed to a hopper minecart. Let's drop down below and see. Yeah, look, the honeycomb's gone into there. I'm a little fearful though that it might break out and go into the area in front, but if you use the hitbox view, I don't see any items out there, so it looks like this design would actually work for both types of farm. And that's great because we're going to be building the same thing on the opposite side of this room. But that's not what we're doing right now. I'm actually gathering some obsidian because we need to organize and sort out our nether portals and put them on the roof of the nether where the bedrock is. Now this is something we all agreed to do as a group, and it's kind of tricky because if not everyone does this, then it breaks the nether portal network for getting around the world. So what I got to do is come to these locations, take the coordinates, dismantle these nether portals, and then we'll be rebuilding them on the roof of the nether. Now I believe the trick for doing this is very simple. You go over 128 blocks up into the sky and build a nether portal up there, and it will create one on the roof. But that one's been dismantled, and now we can go through this one that's closer to the ground, and it synchronizes with the one on the roof. Now we're on the roof of the nether. You can see that there are blocks to follow to get to other locations. The portals are signposted, and this just makes life super easy, right? Now I've brought with me a whole bunch of black wool, and we're going to use this stuff to kind of create like a guide on how to get to my area, which may or may not be in that direction. I don't know. It turns out it's correct. We're going this way and also diagonally over in this direction. So now you know why I've brought a lot of wool with me, because I'm going to need to place a lot of these carpet blocks. It might have taken me 8 years to learn this lesson, but usually what I do is not take enough of the block that I need and then make several trips getting more. And I'm glad to say I overdid it, got some spare, but got to do this in one go. And I've also signposted where this path leads to other people as well. And in order, so the first portal you get to is Beef, then Callouses, myself, Efo, our neighbour in the jungle, the only one in the jungle by the way. Lots of comments on the last episode from people who think that Mumbo, Grian and Scar are in the jungle I am. That is a different jungle here on the server. So now, traversing through the nether can be very painless. It's very peaceful up here. The atmosphere is kind of ominous. And I love the carpet thing. I'm hoping to get more colours of wool done in the future. And then we can have colourful carpets leading all over the place. But anyway, we're going to pop into my quad slime chunk next. And that's because I've been working on this project during a live stream. I'm going to put some footage on your screen of a little time lapse that I did after to see how efficient this was. Done some caving in the area and we've set up this trap right here. It's pretty simple. The slimes are attracted to the iron golem, but they can't actually reach it because of these fence posts. However, the iron golem can actually attack and reach the slimes, which is interesting. It's also held into place by these slabs at the top here, so it never touches the magma blocks. And then we have a pretty simple collection system down here, using a minecart that's going back and forth and then dropping any items it gets into the chest down below. And you can see we've got a fair amount of slime from this. And also on the live stream, we designed and built a farm together over here. It's really quite simple, and you just saw it in action. There are observer blocks detecting when pumpkin stems change, which is usually when a pumpkin is grown, and then it activates the pistons around it. So it breaks the pumpkins, but it leaves them on the ground. And look, just like the other farm, a collection system with a minecart hopper going back and forth to pick up the pumpkins. And as you can see, it's produced loads of them, which of course is for trading with our villager over here. And now this guy has to restock, so we can't get another mending book straight away. Although here's one I made earlier. With all the wood chopping we've been doing today, I really need mending on this. Anyways, we should be getting back to the shop because we got some interiors to build. However, there's something important that I need for this, and that is lighting, and I am in need of some sea lanterns. So, welcome to Hermitcraft Season 2. I have built my fair share of Guardian farms, and this season I do want to be self-sufficient as possible. However, I really don't fancy building yet another Guardian farm, but I thought I'd give you a quick look at some of the ones we built in the past. This was a combo farm where the Guardians could die, but you could also bring them up to the top and it would convert into an XP farm as well. In Season 4 of Hermitcraft, we built this utterly ridiculous mega structure with storage system built below and an absolutely beautiful, beautiful Guardian farm, and apparently all of the ice is melting. So if you open it in 1.15, it looks like it breaks. And then of course, in very recent memory, we have this crazy structure that also doubled up as a Guardian farm from the last season, Season 6. So in short, I was looking to make a deal, and luckily Impulse was online, and he had a Guardian farm set up already. Yeah, you got this block right here, the sea lantern.
Yeah. This is the center of my whole base. It's a fancy block. You like that one?
I am after some of those, my friend. I am after some of those. I got diamonds to spend.
I won't make this too expensive for you then. I'm still trying to figure out, maybe I might make a shop. I mean, obviously there's a need for these if you're stopping by, but I do have this many so far. I could do with a couple of stacks, let me tell you that. If I do a shop for Prismarine and sea lanterns, I was kind of thinking sea lanterns would be maybe 2 diamonds a stack, and like Prismarine bricks would be 1 diamond a stack, something like that.
Sold.
Oh, maybe I was making them too cheap then. No, that works for me, yeah.
So Impulse was kind enough to give me a tour of his Guardian farm. However, I'm going to break things down quickly because I want to get back to our shop. This right here is an area that he cleared out for one type of farm, and then he discovered that all the Guardians are actually pathfinding their way to the edges over here, which meant that he could easily put them into a trap. So then the Guardians would get brought along these water streams where the fence gates are, and then shuffled upwards above the water and into the very center where Impulse now has a killing chamber for killing all of the guardians. So you can use looting, get tons of drops, and you also get XP. So thanks to Impulse, we now have honey that glows. Wow. Oh, I love the way that that lights up. And from a little bit closer, even the honey down on the ground has been lit up as well. And because we're in the Mushroom Island, it means we can really play with the light dynamic. We can keep the area all around here nice and dark, and then that just makes our honey glow, and that is a beautiful touch. So yes, as you're probably not surprised to see, there are sea lanterns down the bottom here. And I've used 4 on the inside to make it nice and luminous. So to make this build work, we gotta surround it with greenery. Look at how it pops out on this side compared to that side. The wood is blending with the mycelium. It is no good. And I'm doing this the slow way. I've also been spending some diamonds on these shovels, not getting silk touch. And here's the problem, you know, mining with a regular pick, it's a little bit too slow. So I've been kind of in a race to get the grass to grow and doing this kind of slow because I've been picking at it a few blocks at a time. I think the approach I need to take is to just ram out as much as this, going all the way down to the bottom as I can, and then replace it with dirt, and maybe at the bottom try and create a little bit of a border as well. Let's see if I can be more efficient with getting this grass to spread. So this technique is pretty fantastic. Shovel in one hand, dirt blocks on the offhand, and you can just replace them super quick. One little problem though, you can right click on the grass and then turn it into a path block, which is a bit annoying. Anyway, with some stone block borders here, we've kind of set it up so that the mycelium can't spread into this area, and then eventually it's all going to be nice and green and luscious. Oh, it is officially glorious. Oh, I've just taken a step back after quite a while of placing blocks and breaking blocks. And look at this, we've got little pools of honey. Not so sure actually if it makes sense for them to rise up like that, but a little bit of depth in Minecraft and height variation is always good. We don't have honey slabs. If we had honey slabs, they would be perfect. I've also aligned them with yellow terracotta underneath, so it just kind of reinforces the yellowness. We do indeed have a bee's nest purely for decoration in there, and another one on the inside of the shop. We're going to work on the interior next, and we're going to sell bee's nests as well as the more common items that you could expect here. So anyway, just up the top with the yellow underneath, it means you can't sort of see down into the cave. And I was also thinking about the shop. If we wanted to expand it in the future, we could kind of go down into that space below. So in here, we're going to be selling 5 types of item. Over on here, bees nests, beehives as well, which I can craft using the honeycomb. I went and collected everything from my farm. We also got bees heads over here. We're selling honey blocks, of course, and honeycomb blocks is what we sell. I don't know if I really need to sell them individually. I guess someone might want to craft a nest, but we also sell that as well. The floor, it is going to be an attention-grabbing one. It'll be made entirely out of these blocks. Oh, very pristine indeed. Then for the ceiling, you know, this isn't good enough. What we're going to do is have the honey drip down from above, and this is where I'm going to end up spending a lot of these blocks. So I've tried to be smart and efficient with the placement here, just to not use up too many, and that's got a real good feel to it. Yeah, that right there. Maybe one more hanging there. Perfect. Okay, didn't want to use too many of these, and I think that turned out good. So, bit of an afterthought for the layout. I wanted to convey a message, and that was simply that the prices are going to be lower in the future, because I've only really got my farm halfway up and running at the moment, right? So these are the prices: 1 diamond for 16, 1 for 8, 5 diamonds each, 1 each, and 10 for the nest. But I'll have more of these things in the future, so then I'll be able to lower the prices. Also, I feel like this room needs a little bit of extra detail. That's probably something I'll do on a stream soon. However, I had a couple of cool ideas that I just want to try out before we leave this spot. So over here we got a sort of custom beehive little detail, and then up the top here I've made a jar. And what's the best way we can represent honey? It's with some gold. Now, a helmet looks a lot bigger than a block. So I think we're going to have to go with the helmet inside of here, but then it's going to have to be lower down. And then it changes colour when we get to the bottom. It wouldn't have been a lot of honey in there anyway. Cool idea, but maybe not. It's just kind of occurred to me that now I have to pay for the existence of this shop. And you might think I've used a really big area here, but this is all terraforming around the shop itself. I'm sure that in itself is going to cause some debate amongst all of you, and maybe us hermits need to discuss how this thing works as well. I'm going to treat it like the shop itself is what I'm paying for, and it's got a blueprint of 9 by 9. There's also a little bit of like honey that comes out the side, so I might just raise the price up a little bit. So 9 by 9 would be 81, and it's 1 block for 100, but I think since I've decorated the area around, I'm just going to go ahead and put 2 diamond blocks down here. Slight panic mode here. That is the last of my diamonds, but then I remembered we had been to the end dimension. Oh, and over here, yeah, I actually wrangled up a load of diamonds from the end, didn't I? So there we go. The pile gets a little bit bigger. That's my contribution. Oh, hey, there's a bee over here. Oh, and a new shop as well. Ah, selling mending books. So last time we visited this place, I was here to tell you that there was a live stream weekend, and oh my goodness me, there's a new building over here. This looks amazing. It is the sheriff's station, and apparently Beef Thief Jevin is wanted dead or alive. Distractions aside, there is indeed another Hermitcraft livestream weekend. 3 in a row. Maybe there'll be a 4th. Anyway, you can see the schedule. You know to go to livestream.hermitcraft.com to get all the links. Anyway, if you don't remember, let me refresh your memory. It is over here that we have placed a wager on being the last hermit with 0 deaths. I still have 0 deaths, and I want to show you a clip from a live stream. This actually happened. I was staring at the map so intensely that I fell down into a ravine, and very fortunately there was water at the bottom. So I am still alive, my friends. Still alive somehow. And this is where we're going to be wrapping up this episode. If you have enjoyed it, be sure to leave a like. As always, thank you for your support, and I'll see you soon in the next one. Bye bye.